Hello, hello, and happy marvelous Monday, everybody. Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm excited to have you join me today. This is the discussion today is going to be a little off topic, if you will. I am super excited that you are joining me today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time tuning in and joining me, I am live on Facebook, I'm live on LinkedIn, and I'm live on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody. At the bottom of the screen is my disclaimer. I am Karissa Spann, the property management professor, the queen of property management, the landlord and tenant expert. I'm typically live every Monday, providing information for landlords, tenants, and the entire rental community. I do apologize. I've had some technical difficulties, but I definitely want to share some information today. I only ask that if you have any difficulty hearing me, if my audio go out, just let me know. Let me know in the chat box where you're tuned in from. I always love to know where my viewers are tuned in from. And certainly, and by all means, if you have questions, if you have comments, remarks, or observations, please let me know. Drop it in the comment section. All right, so let me acknowledge some people who are here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lynette, I do appreciate you, ma'am. Hello, Kim. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Preacher. Thank you so much for tuning in from Alabama. Alabama is in the building. North Carolina is in the building. Georgia, Washington, D.C. I see you coming in on my platforms. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to get straight into it because I do have a lot of information to cover on today. And it's all about surviving the storm, how landlords and tenants can thrive in uncertain times. Now, just depending on where you are, what time of the day you're tuning in from, for those of you who are catching the replay, thank you so much. Some of the information that I'm sharing is live, is active right now, but for some of you who are watching the replay, it may be old news. Nonetheless, I'm going to share some tips. I'm going to share strategies for the entire rental community because I know that a lot of people are concerned. A lot of people are looking at what's taking place and what's really happening all throughout the United States. As a matter of fact, people from around the world are watching what's happening here in the United States. And this is an exciting time. This is, like I said, some people are in a panic. All right. But here's what I want you to know, that no matter what side of the aisle you fall on or you find yourself in, you're not alone. Okay. We are all in this together. A lot of people are directly impacted while others may be indirectly impacted. But at the end of the day, I think now is a good time for us to learn together, to support one another. And so I'm going to provide a lot of information today. For many of you, you've tuned in last week or the week prior. You heard me share that I am now offering a free property management course. I want people to just not have to stress if perhaps you may need to pivot in your career, or maybe you just want to learn something new or different. I'm going to provide some information a little later. It's absolutely free. I'm excited to provide this opportunity during this time. So let me get straight into my segment on today. I do see some questions coming in, and I'm going to definitely answer your questions towards the end. So just kind of stick around to a little bit later if you don't mind. Thank you so much. All right. So, like I said, right now, people everywhere are in a panic. Listen, there is a lot of uncertainty. There are a lot of things going on. And it's disappointing. It can be disappointing, and I get it. But although this is a scary time, I want us to not focus on the problem. My goal today and tomorrow is to try to focus on solutions, because no matter what's happening, whether it's on the top, whether you find yourself in the midst of the storm, I want you to know and understand that even in the storm, that you still have power and you can still create stability for yourself during times of uncertainty. Yes, I said it. You have power. We always have power. I don't care what's going on. Things are going to change. It's going to get bad. It's going to look bad. And for many, it's going to be really uncomfortable. But I promise that if we stick together and you just make up your mind that no matter what, I'm going to find a way. Even like I said, if you have to pivot, there are options, there are opportunities. Don't get stuck and don't focus on the problem. All right. So let us come together so that we can come out stronger. All right. So I do have some tips, some information, and some encouragement for landlords. So I know that I have landlords who are tuned in live. I have landlords who are going to watch the replay. Listen, if you own rental property, you are definitely in a position to build long-term wealth. I think many of you would agree that with a rental property business, whether you own 1, 2, 3, or multiple doors, a rental is an asset. It is a business. And I always say this one thing. I strongly believe wholeheartedly that this philosophy is true. If you treat your business like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. Now, although I have proclaimed, I have said that philosophy, I've believed that philosophy for many, many years, I also believe that now may be a time to loosen the reins a little bit, if you will, if you are a landlord, because you got to be strategic in times like these. Okay. So now might be the time to streamline your operations. Now might be the time to start thinking about how you want to find reliable tenants, or in many cases, some of you have people, you have property managers, you have professionals, you have others who are managing your property for you. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that in that application process, in that prospect phase, in that advertising or that marketing phase, that you are securing steady rental income. Because we already know that bricks and mortar don't pay rent. Empty, vacant rentals don't put money in the bank. Okay. I want you to know this because the economy will shift, and it is shifting for a lot of people. But remember this: tough times create smart landlords. I'm going to repeat that. Tough times create smart landlords. So in situations such as this, where maybe you have to pivot, maybe you have to look at your strategies, maybe you have to work with your property managers, right? Look at your policy, look at your practice, look at if there's any area in your rental business where you're able to make a change. Start thinking about those things. Don't wait until the storm hit, because sometimes the storm will create more of a panic. So for many of us, we can see that there's a storm out on the ocean. We can see it coming. Don't wait until it's at your front door. Start making changes now. Start planning now. Start preparing for tomorrow. Okay. Now, if you are a tenant, I know that many of you may be worried about your housing. Many of you may be experiencing some sort of financial loss, or maybe fear of losing your job. But don't wait until it's too late. Start having those open conversations with your landlord now, not tomorrow, but now. It's okay if you think that you may be impacted. Have a conversation with your landlord. Let them know what your situation is. Let them know what you're up against. Because here's the thing. I want you to know that as a tenant, some landlords and some owners may be in the same situation that you're in. Okay, so never be embarrassed, never be afraid, never be ashamed to have those conversations and communications. Okay, Now, in many communities, there are some resources. I would strongly recommend and encourage any of you who are facing some sort of financial crisis to look for any possible resources in the community. It might be a church. Churches have resources in some communities, but you don't know because you haven't taken the time to find out what may be available for you. There is community support. So just know that as a tenant that you do have options. And let me just also say this, that this is not the end of the story. We will get through this. You will get through this. I will get through this. We will get through this. Is that all right? All right. So I wanted to get that in the way first. So now let me just share a little bit more information, because at the start of the hour, the start of the show, I mentioned that I am now offering a free 8-week online property management course. It is absolutely free. It costs you nothing but your time. It starts March the 3rd. It's going to run for 8 consecutive weeks on a Monday by way of Zoom. If you think you're interested, the link is in the description. Please make sure that you register today. All right. Register today. The seats are filling up. I'm super excited to provide this opportunity to show some of you how to get into property management. But now here's the thing. Even if you are a tenant, perhaps you can learn how to get into the housing industry as a property manager. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, people will always need a place to stay. Okay. And so property management, property managers, if this is something that you are considering, now is a time, at least explore the opportunity, explore the options if it costs you nothing but your time. So I wanted to share that with you because I want to make sure that I can help as many people as possible. This is not the time to stress, although it can be stressful. This is not the time to throw in the towel, although many may want to throw in the towel and do some other things, but that's why I'm offering this free 8-week online property management course. Because like I said, whether you're a landlord, you might be an investor, you might be a tenant looking for stability. Knowing the ins and the outs of property management can change your financial future. And so when you take this course, let me just give some information here. What you will learn from me is how to manage rental property like a pro. I've been in this industry and I absolutely love adding value. I absolutely love helping people. In my career, I have managed over 12,000 rental doors in various states, in various communities, high-end luxury communities, low-income affordable housing communities. I have been in the affordable housing space for over 20 plus years. I'm not surprised. I've seen a lot of changes have taken place. The laws have changed. And one of the things that I will tell you is this, and you'll likely hear it if you take my class, that what you don't know can and will hurt you, which is why you don't want to just jump out there and manage property without knowing what you can and cannot do legally, because property managers can be sued, owners can be sued. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. The laws are in place for a reason. Okay. My goal, my hope is that I will help a lot of you avoid going down that rabbit hole because you're sued for something that you did not know. Or perhaps you have someone managing your property. They didn't know what the heck they were doing, and it got you caught up in the situation. And it happens, and it will continue to happen, unfortunately. I'm going to show you how to avoid those costly mistakes. I'm going to show you how to create a steady income no matter the economy. So, like I said, the spots are filling up quickly. I do want you to register today if you think you are interested. Listen, we have about maybe really 1 week out because it starts next Monday. Okay, so if you want more information, as a matter of fact, let me provide my email address. You can always reach me. Hello, Christina. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. I like your profile picture. It says, I don't care how hard life gets. I'm not losing my faith in God. I absolutely love that. Beautiful. All right. So let me share my email address for those of you. If you're interested in this property management course, please make sure that you sign up today, not tomorrow, today. It costs you, how much did I say? $0. Okay. Free 99. Please sign up today. Let me give you my email address. If you have questions, I want to be able to answer your questions. I'm excited. Listen, this is an exciting time. Okay. I am very intentional sometimes with my words. This is an exciting time. All right. We are surviving the storm even during times of uncertainty. All right. You're welcome. You're quite welcome. Listen, that's what I wanted to share today. Just a couple of nuggets to help some of you who are landlords, a couple of nuggets to help those of you, some of you who are tenants, and some are just in the rental community. All right. And thank you again for those of you who have already signed up. I want you to also please subscribe to my YouTube channel. On YouTube, you can find me at Landlord Life. For those of you who are on Fanbase, please find me on Fanbase. I'm now beginning to transition a lot of my content. I am opening up opportunities to work with landlords in the DC metropolitan area where I'm facilitating workshops in person. So please make sure that you stay connected with me during this shift, during this pivot. My goal is to add value and to help as many people as I can. All right. So I still have the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also find me on TikTok. At TikTok, it's Karissa_Spann. Okay. Find me there on all of my social media platforms. Like, tag, share, subscribe, stay connected. All right. So let me just do a recap of what I shared today for landlords. I see your comments. I'm going to come back to your comment in 1 second. So for today, I shared just a few tips for landlords because, like I said, during this time of uncertainty, I want you all to know the importance of maintaining your business. All right. So because you own rental property, you are in a position of building long-term wealth. Okay. But you have to be strategic in times like these. I shared how important it is to streamline your operations, how important it is to find reliable tenants so that you can secure that steady income, even as the economy shifts. And then I also shared that during tough times like these and what we're going to see, it creates smart landlords. So for tenants, I shared a few tips, few strategies for tenants. If you're worried about your loss of income, I'm encouraging you to not wait until it's too late. Start having those open and honest conversations with your landlord now. Okay. I also encourage you all to look for rental assistance, look for help in the community, maybe reach out to local churches that may be in your community. There are job opportunities in the community. You just have to look for those things. Look for local jobs. Look for maybe city government jobs. Look for resources in your community because community support is there. You do have options. And as a reminder, I just shared this for everybody. This is not the end of the story. You will get through this. I will get through this. We will get through this. Okay? So let me answer any questions. If any of you have questions, as a matter of fact, let me share the link for the course. Let me pull that up on the screen. All right, I see your comment, Preacher. I'm going to come right back to you. Let me pull up this here. If you're interested in the property management course, you can scan that QR code, complete the registration today. I'm going to send you an email after the registration has been completed. This is through Hillman Talk University. It is 8 weeks. It's starting on March the 3rd, and it will conclude on April 28th. Absolutely free. All right. So now let me come back to your comment. Preacher, what are some tips when interviewing a property manager for your property? Great question. One of the things that I will say is this: when you are interviewing property managers, you want to make sure that you understand their experience. Anybody can manage property, right? I'm a property management educator. I teach people how to get into the industry, but you want to look at their experience. You want to look at their experience in managing your type of property, because not all property managers are created equal. Okay, let me just be emphatically clear with that. I have had some property managers who worked well in high-end communities, but in low-income or affordable housing communities, they just didn't have the pedigree to deal with that level of tenants. And so you want to make sure that first and foremost, they have experience, right? You want to make sure that whatever skill set you need them to have, they are clearly able to articulate that. So here is an example. So if you say, well, Karissa, thank you for your interest in managing my property. Can you tell me about your experience as a property manager? So I'm going to tell you that I'm a licensed property manager. I have managed over 12,000 doors. I'm going to tell you the types of communities that I've managed. I'm going to tell you how I handle maintenance complaints, because you want to understand the psychology of an individual who's going to be responsible for taking those calls and those emails and those complaints that are coming in from your tenants, and are able to effectively get those issues resolved. They should also be able to tell you, I'm going to tell you the timeline, not just how I handle maintenance complaints or repairs for tenants, but I'm also going to share the timeline. If it's an emergency, I'm going to make sure that emergency requests are completed within 24 hours. If it's a routine maintenance complaint by a tenant, I'm going to let the tenant know we're going to take care of it within 3 to 5 days. I'm going to explain my time management, how I handle time management, how I respond to emails, how I respond to returning phone calls, how I meet with tenants. I'm going to explain if I provide newsletters, because I like to keep my tenants engaged and informed. I'm going to share all of those things in the interview. So you can ask about the property manager's experience. You can ask about their background. You can ask how they handle maintenance requests. You can ask them what is the best way that they prefer to communicate. Some people like telephone. Some people like text. Some people like email. You want to definitely understand how they handle an irate tenant who contacts the county or the city office to complain. You want to understand if they have the capacity to manage your rental property. And it's not just the property, but it's managing that landlord and that tenant relationship. And so that is what's so important. And so That's quite a bit, not in any particular order. So I know I was kind of like all over the place. But thank you for that question. And Preacher, if you have any other questions, please let me know. I do have as a matter of fact, I have an ebook that I've created to help owners vet property managers. So send me an email. I'll be happy to share that with you because that's not on my website, but I will send that to you because I've already prepared that. All right. And you said, especially in times like these. Absolutely. Christina said, patient. Yes, they should be patient. Oh, that is so good. Let me just park here. Let me put a quarter in this meter because patience is so important when it comes to property managers. Listen, let me just tell you, there is nothing worse than having a property manager who is rude, who act as if they have an attitude because tenants are complaining. That is such a huge disconnect. And you certainly don't want anybody representing you, managing your tenants with a nasty attitude, because that is bad for business. As a matter of fact, you will be paying them to represent you in the worst way. So ask those questions, and thank you again for that, Christina. Are there any other questions? All right, so let me share my flyer one more time for those of you who are just tuning in. I did share my free property management class, completely online, starting March the 3rd, running every Monday until April the 28th. With yours truly, I'm excited to offer this. A lot of people have asked me, Karissa, when can you teach a property management class? Because I've been teaching for a couple of universities over the years and I enjoy teaching, but now I just want to make sure that I'm able to reach a broader range of individuals, because I recognize that there are a lot of people outside of my geographical location who are interested in property management, getting started or excelling in the industry. So let me share the flyer one more time. And thank you so much for tuning in. This is the flyer here. If you think you are interested, please, ma'am, please, sir, scan that QR code. Once the registration is complete, I'm going to send you an email. You'll get the syllabus. You'll be able to ask me questions. You'll be live with me in class. All right. So I wanted to get that in the way, share as much information as possible. And again, we are coming out of this storm together. All right. So don't feel like you're by yourself. Don't feel like you're alone. This may be a time to pivot for a lot of people. And guess what? It is okay. It's really okay to pivot. Listen, I promise you this one thing. As long as we live, there are going to be chaos. There are going to be challenges, right? It's not the end of the world. This is only temporary. I don't know how bad it's going to feel, but at the end of the day, I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how bad it feels. We're going to get through this together. This is not going to be the end of the story. All right. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for watching the replay. I do appreciate you all. In the description are the links to my various platforms: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Fanbase, TikTok, my free property management course. There are a lot of great things happening right now, and I'm excited to share it all with you. All right. My time is up, and I absolutely thank you for yours. I'm Karissa Spann, the landlord and tenant coach, the queen of property management, the professor of property management. And it has been truly a fantastic pleasure having you join me today or watching the replay. All right. So I will see you all very soon. And for those of you who have already signed up for the class, thank you. Yes, no fear here, because fear is false evidence appearing real. Bye, guys.